I've been asked what my platform is for the next 2 years, so here we go. The theme of this biennium will be Bound for Excellence, Bound by Honor. I chose these words very carefully. Obviously, excellence and honor means much to us, but I chose the word bound just as importantly. Bound means we're not going to be deterred, and bound is that our bond of honor is impenetrable. In the summer of 2007 at College of Chapters, 3 of us Sigma Nu leaders took a long walk. We walked on the campus of Washington and Lee for hours. We spent hours talking about what we dreamed for Sigma Nu and what it would take for the 3 of us to continue our contribution in leadership at the national level. We all wanted the same thing. We wanted to be the best. And it was clear to us that being the best starts in the chapters. Sigma Nu is only as excellent as our chapters are excellent. We talked about what chapter excellence looks like. We talked about how to identify it, how to communicate it, how to measure it, how to expect it, and how to reward it. So under the leadership of past Regent Robert Durham, that long walk and discussion became the #1 strategic imperative of the strategic plan of Sigma Nu. The chapter strength imperative launched, and the results are staggering. The average chapter size in 2010 was 52, and in 2014 it is 64. 2/3 of our chapters are now exceeding the average chapter size on their campuses, and the average pursuit of excellence score increased by 34% from 2012 to 2014. We celebrated Wednesday night, and I mean we celebrated by recognizing 19 chapters as worthy of Rock Chapter status. Brothers, we are bound for excellence. Our Task Force Hopkins identified and communicated best practices. The High Council and staff worked diligently to identify appropriate measurement strategies to ensure the ongoing pursuit of excellence in all of our chapters. We then moved our focus to identifying remediation strategies for chapters that fail to accomplish appropriate performance. You, the Brotherhood, have delivered. Those of you challenged with deficiencies have responded, and we didn't want to, nor have we had to, close a bunch of chapters along the way for underperformance. Now it is time to move that excellence initiative to a level of sustaining excellence. I am asking that Task Force Hopkins turn its attention to the recruitment, training, and evaluation and strengthening of our chapter advisory board component. We have identified that chapters showing sustained excellence have a common denominator of a trained and effective advisory board. We will recruit, we will train, we will communicate with and evaluate our alumni advisory boards, and we're going to give those boards the resources to be excellent. We will be bound by honor. Brothers and guests, I take my vows very seriously. My vow to you tonight as regent, my marital vows, my vows as an attorney, and my vows as a knight in Sigma Nu. In 1978, I added another chapter number, Alpha 275. In Little Rock, Arkansas, at Grand Chapter in 1978, I was dubbed Knight in the Alpha Scrolls. At that time, I vowed to continue service to Sigma Nu, but I had no idea that it would mean that in 2014 that I would return as the first Alpha affiliate to be sworn as regent. May I take this opportunity right now to encourage those 10 brothers made Alpha affiliates earlier at this Grand Chapter to begin now seeking ways to continue serving Sigma Nu. You have been recognized for your excellence, and we need that to continue from this day forward. We need you, and we need you now. As relevant as it was in 1869 when Hopkins, Quarles, and Riley clasped their hands together as brothers in opposition to hazing, doing the right thing at the right time, and to use my brother John Hearn's favorite expression, choosing the hard right over the easier wrong, it is equally relevant on July 19, 2014, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, that we bind ourselves together by honor. Brothers, we are at a critical time in our history. Sigma Nu and our interfraternal colleagues are being challenged more than ever to prove that we live our values of love, honor, and truth. We are being asked by students, parents, by higher education, by judges, by legislators, why is fraternity, why is Sigma Nu a positive? Why is Sigma Nu relevant in 2014? Why are these questions being asked? I'll tell you why. Because we have allowed the conduct of a minority of fraternity boys and the sensationalism of the media for decades to stereotype us in the negative light of excessive, ridiculous behavior. Brothers, brotherhood is rewarding, but brotherhood is not ridiculous. Brotherhood is life-changing, but brotherhood is not life-threatening. So we have to commit ourselves to as leaders of Sigma Nu, the fraternity of excellence and honor, that we will continue to battle against the very problem that we were founded in direct opposition to, the problem of hazing. That we will commit ourselves to do our part in addressing the problem of alcohol and substance abuse. Elsewhere, boys may be boys, but in Sigma Nu, men will be men. Now let me be clear. Now let me be clear. These are not just our problems, and they're not just fraternity problems. I am very encouraged that through the diligent work of the National Interfraternity and Panhellenic Conferences, with the vision of leaders such as our own past Chairman Howard Pickett, and our friend and colleague and honoree Gene Morosic, the current chair of the National Panhellenic Conference, that we are now boldly communicating, advocating, and proving that fraternity and sorority memberships are positives in the lives of our members and communities. But to be truly bound by honor, we must aggressively do our part in Sigma Nu. So tonight I am calling for the establishment of a second task force. The creation of Due North, a task force that focuses on the moral compass of Sigma Nu, identifying what it takes to assure Hopkins, Quarles, and Riley that the compass of Sigma Nu that was clearly on due north in 1869 is equally focused in the right direction in 2014. Due North is a new task force for the monitoring of the moral compass of Sigma Nu and is being created tonight. Number one, to analyze the role of the chapter's chaplain as the officer of ritual and gatekeeper of the moral compass of the chapter. To evaluate our strategies of ensuring that we are diligently identifying, educating, and remediating in the area of hazing prevention. To identify strategies to educate our membership on the dangers of alcohol and substance misuse. To identify strategies to educate and promote the honorable treatment of women. To identify and evaluate strategies to ensure that our reputation, as exhibited in social media and print media, is consistent with a fraternity that exists for the development of ethical leaders. To identify strategies to educate our membership on the value of community service and philanthropic initiatives, and to implement those through our Helping Hand initiative. And finally, to identify effective ways to be responsive to the increasing mental health challenges of our brothers. At this time, I would like to announce some brothers that will be crucial in our execution of excellence and honor in this biennium. So brothers, when I call your name, if you wouldn't mind standing when I introduce you so that people can see who we are going to be relying on for some heavy lifting in this biennium. Brother Michael Berry of our MU chapter has graciously agreed to continue his service as chairman of Task Force Hopkins. I am asking Vice Regents Dave Manella and Jordan Wu to be the High Council liaisons to that task force. I'm also asking Brothers Jason Dooley, Bob McCauley, Neil Gilpin, and Carter Hutchins from our Ole Miss chapter to be a part of Task Force Hopkins. All of these men are excellent operators at the chapter level. So thank you, brothers, for your willingness to serve on Task Force Hopkins. For the new task force, due north, I'm asking Vice Regents John Hearn and Maura Gaston to be the High Council liaisons and to chair that task force. I'm asking Brothers Chris Graham, Jameson Keller, fellow Alpha affiliate Hamp Dye, to serve as the initial members of the Due North Task Force. Thank you, brothers, for your willingness to serve on Due North. We must not only believe and analyze and deliver excellence and honor, but we must communicate and demonstrate just that. And for that, I am turning to two of our best young communicators in Sigma Nu. I have asked Alpha affiliate, Brother Wells Ellenberg, who is here Wednesday night but is not here tonight, to serve as Grand Sentinel of Sigma Nu, to be a messenger of the excellence imperative. Many of you have heard Wells speak as our National Sigma Nu Man of the Year and at College of Chapters. Wells was honored as the SEIFC Man of the Year and was an NIC award recipient. I have also asked Wells to be a part of Task Force Hopkins and to be available to keynote, to lobby, and speak to our legislators and decision makers, and to work with our commanders at College of Chapters. The second appointment is another young Alpha affiliate, James Doty of our Phi chapter at LSU, who's also unable to be here tonight. I've asked James, at the ripe old age of 26, to serve as Grand Chaplain for the biennium. Let me tell you a little bit about James. James hung up his quarterback gear due to injury and headed to LSU and became commander of our rechartered Phi chapter. He served as a collegiate councilman on the High Council, as Wells did, and quickly became known as one of our best spokesmen for Sigma Nu. He is an engaging communicator of faith and fraternity and is currently the youth pastor at Rayville, Louisiana Baptist Church. And the reason he can't be here tonight is he's leading a youth retreat this weekend. And beginning with College of Chapters in 2015, I've asked James to conduct a National Sigma Nu prayer and focus breakfast to be held at both our Colleges of Chapters and at Grand Chapter 2016. Now let me be clear. This is not about a particular faith and it's not about a particular religion, but about focusing in a corporate Sigma Nu setting on that which is honorable, that which is the beauty of our ritual and brotherhood, and that which is true to our founding on the principles of love, honor, and truth. At all levels of Sigma Nu and at all times, we must be challenged and encouraged to live and express our values. I'm also turning to another young Alpha affiliate to serve as Grand Marshal, and he is here tonight. Alpha number 598, Matt Tudor. Matt, would you stand? Matt's also a former collegiate councilman. Matt will also serve on Due North and will bring a perspective of honor that only he can bring after serving multiple tours of duty to protect our very freedom. But I'm also turning to one of our most seasoned volunteers to continue the most excellent preservation and communication of our treasured and important history of Sigma Nu. Brother Bob McCauley, honored here tonight, has graciously agreed to continue his service to our brotherhood as Grand Historian for yet another biennium. Our past is his passion, and we are truly the beneficiaries of that passion. Thank you again, Bob. And to all of these brothers, thank you for their continued service to Sigma Nu. I am very honored to have served alongside three very successful regents. Past regents Joe Gilman, whose focus on ritual and growth, Brother Robert Durham, and his unsurpassed passion for excellence, and Charlie Idle, whose celebration of the successes of our collegiate chapters is absolutely contagious. I am the beneficiary of their leadership. Brothers, thanks for positioning us for success and excellence in this next biennium. And to our best of class, and I do mean best of class, Executive Director Brad Beecham, I promise you I would not have been willing to do this job if you were not in your job. Thank you on behalf of each of us, and I very much look forward, Brad, to working with you and your team and all that we can accomplish together. I also very much appreciate the Grand Chapter delivering a most capable High Council. I'm very honored to serve alongside Regional-elect Lee Parrott. Lee and I have been like-minded teammates for a very, very long time. So to Lee, to Tim, John, Dave, Maury, and Jordan, to Henry, Joey, Tripp, and Cody, I am committed, as I know each of you are, to the successful implementation of our strategic plan and to leave Sigma Nu in 2016 at the conclusion of our biennium as a more excellent fraternity than it is today. But I want to bring us back to what I believe to be the most important part of the evening. Tonight we have recognized Don Dinsborn, Tom Mason, and Bob McCulley as most deserving recipients of the highest honor in Sigma Nu, the Hall of Honor. Would Don, Tom, and Bob please stand? And remain standing, if you would. And there are others here tonight that are members of that distinguished Hall of Honor. I would ask Brothers Jim Cherry, Mike Long, Dave Rugg, E.G. White, and Howard Pickett to all stand and remain standing as you can. Brothers and guests, these are the brothers that have given it all to Sigma Nu. That we can even stand here and envision a more excellent Sigma Nu, and that we can celebrate our successes is because these brothers have left it all on the field. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to be proud of. Would the new High Council stand? We accept the challenge as your leaders. We commit to prudent stewardship and decision making. We commit to being one heartbeat with the foundation. We will be bound for excellence. We will be bound by honor. Thank you for your confidence, and may God bless our fraternity. You guys thought you were through hearing from me. But this is a fun thing. We get to now determine where we're going next time. I think we got a video that we're going to show you to reveal the location, and then I'll have a couple of remarks. I think you're going to like it. Can we roll the video?
Swallow the wind through my nose, feel the sand beneath my toes as I walk along the shore like yeah, deep inside me somewhere it's like a la-dee-da-da-dee-dee. Happiness is calling me. I'm feeling so good, I can't explain it. The moon is so contagious, spreading through the breeze, yeah. I feel like dancing, I feel like singing. Call my friends, the phones are ringing. 'Cause happiness is calling me. Yeah. Inside me somewhere, it's like a la-dee-da-da-dee-dee. Happiness is calling me. Happiness is calling me. Happiness is calling me. Happiness is calling me. Happiness is calling me.
I thought you might like that. We'll be at the beautiful Manchester Hyatt, which is right on the marina. When I first got the opportunity to begin thinking about where we would go to my brothers from California, it's been since 1948, and I wanted to go to California because I will tell you, we've had a stronghold in California for a long time. Our chapters have been performing at a very high level, and we need to be in California. One of the most pleasant surprises that I've had while I've been here at Grand Chapter was, many of you know, I think, that I served right after graduating from Oklahoma State on the staff of Sigma Nu. And in 1978, I began serving as a consultant, and we worked Grand Chapter in Little Rock, Arkansas. And one of my buddies from the staff happened to show up here and is here with his wife, Cameron. And I believe Rick Wright, one of my other staff mates, was also here earlier in the conference. I don't think he is here tonight. If he is, you need to holler at me. But is he? There he is. Okay, so both of my buddies, I didn't know that, I didn't see you before. Both of my buddies from staff from 1978 are here, and we have never worked as hard in our lives as we did for Grand Chapter. But I jokingly talked to Cameron earlier in the week, and I said, I may need you again, and sure enough, Cameron's home is San Diego, so it won't be as hard to work, but I need your help on Grand Chapter 2016. And of course, San Diego is the Sigma Nu birthplace of our own Bob McCulley. So I hope you will make plans to join me in California for our Grand Chapter in 2016. It's a great location, a great city, and we're going to have a good time. I think we've got a video, Brad, is that correct, of our Grand Chapter here in Nashville, which is always a highlight and a way to close up a very good event. And we're going to have fun watching the video tonight, and that will conclude our evening.
Summer's gone, but it won't take long to look, man.
Brothers, good night, safe travels, and God bless each and every one of you. Tom, thank you. For once again being there for me to extend the helping hand of brotherhood that you have done constantly for me for 40 years. He helped, I needed to work to go to law school. He helped me get a job. He helped me get my first job as an attorney. And when I lost my parents in a car accident at a very early stage of my career, he became my confidant and my rock in decision making. All of those things that you rely on a dad for, Tom was just that. And to Nancy, his wife, who I absolutely love and respect dearly, thank you so much for being here. I could make my whole speech about Tom's extension of the helping hand to me, but he would never allow me to do that because he's that humble. I'm honored and humbled to stand before you tonight. I want to begin by introducing some very important people in my life. I have been blessed, very blessed, with a great family. I would like to introduce my wife of almost 29 years, Vicki. Vicki is a very focused wife and mom. She's very focused on her faith and her family. She's a member of Chi Omega, and in my opinion exemplifies the attributes of her own Chi Omega Symphony, just as I strive daily to live my life of love, honor, and truth. I want you to meet my daughter, Libby. Libby, stand. Also a member of Chi Omega, and her fiance and my soon-to-be, as in 3 weeks from tonight, son-in-law, Peter McCorkle. Peter, no pressure, Peter, but I expect my grandsons to be Sigma Nus. My daughter, Mary Grace. Mary Grace is a rising high school sophomore who has literally grown up coming to grand chapters. Mary Grace, I'm telling you right now, as a rising sophomore, you've had freedom at this college of at this grand chapter. But at our next grand chapter, you'll be a rising senior, and you'll be sitting next to me at all events. Just warning you. Thank you. I also want to say thanks to my Epsilon brothers that are here tonight, and I'm overwhelmed by the contribution. That just speaks to who these guys are, and thank you. I mean, it's just the way it is at our chapter, and this is, I wouldn't be here tonight, obviously, if I didn't have that kind of support and have had from the day I walked into the front doors at 913 West University in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I've always felt very, very, very fortunate to have received my bid in 1974, almost 40 years to this very day, that someone saw in me something deserving of an opportunity to be a Sigma Nu. It's a very, very big deal to be a Sigma Nu at Oklahoma State University, and it has been for a very long time. Very, very high expectations. It's hard to get in. I'm not sure I would get in today. And family ties are very strong. I'm especially grateful to our chapter alumni advisors that have modeled what it means to be a Sigma Nu for life. I'm reminded of Colonel Norman Horner, past Regent Robert Maddox, Steve Brown, and Dave Hubble, and of course my personal mentor and hero, Tom Mason, who is honored here tonight, a very deserving recipient of our Hall of Honor. Rarely a day has gone by in the past 20 years that Neil Gilpin, my other hero, that he and I have not planned for a more excellent Epsilon. Neil is the single most dedicated and tireless Sigma Nu that I have ever known. And he and his wife, Bindi, are an absolute rock and rose to my family. But I've certainly been shaped by the collegiate leaders that I worked with in my 20 years of advising the Epsilon chapter, young brothers that stepped up to the plate to do the right thing at the right time, to lead boldly and to do their elected job better than I'd asked them to do it, to take ownership of that job and to be all in. Guys like Scott Quillen and Jeff Burrow and Patrick Altendorf come to mind, brothers that sharpened my leadership by showing me a more excellent way. I grew up in a culture of expecting excellence. I grew and I advised in that chapter for over 20 years, expecting nothing short of excellence. I know no other way to approach my 2 years as your regent. I expect nothing short of excellence for our fraternity. That's enough about me. I prefer to talk about we.